What's up guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh arena of Valor content. And today I decided, because you actually see this marksman quite a lot, to feature some Elsu game content. To spoil it, he's not a hero that I enjoy that much. I think his kind of playstyle is actually quite lame. Like, yes, I know he's quite powerful, but it's not really fitting the way I like to play my AD carries. But as he has great success in most of the games, and we saw him a lot in the late tournaments in Asia, I just thought, okay, where does this Elsu hype comes from? I wanted to figure it out, and therefore I'm going to play Elsu today in a gameplay. But that said, from the start, it was not the greatest game I've ever played. I want to share my equipment with you at the beginning of the video, as I always do, and I switched some stuff to the stuff that Elsu is basically played around at the moment, I guess. So we've got Muramasa, Fenrir, and Fenris, which are basically the staples that you see on Elsu all the time. I decided to go with Omni Arms here. I saw builds that were featuring the Bloodthirsty bow, but this was basically the build that I wanted to try him out. Arcana wise, because I wanted to increase the damage and not the attack speed, I went with my usual marksman warrior build. As you can see, we're just increasing 3 different sorts of things: normal attacks, armor pierce, and movement speed. And that comes from Onslaught and Assassinate and Skewer. Of course, all of them are level 3. And enchantment wise, I wanted to try out Alchemy as my main enchantment, with the usual likes such as Enhanced Restore, and we've got Gunslinger in here. And to boost our damage even further, I went for Raging Inferno as well as Deadly Claws. So this is basically the build, and what this build is all about and what you can do with it is the content of today's video. Let's get started. Alright, and here we go. So as you can see, and while you still hear that I'm still ill after all this time, we've got a quite decent team composition. We've got Errol on the solo lane, we've got Xenos as the jungler, we've got the Crixie, who's going to play a major role throughout the game, and I'm on the duo lane with Pura, a champion that you don't see that often, but on the other end we are facing a Zenial, which is a champion that I rarely see on the battlefield, like basically not at all, I suppose. Like he is not really out there in the game. At first we've got some encounters with Hayate. Illumia joins the fight, so we've got some action going on our lane. And as you can see, what I'm doing right now is I'm focusing heavily on my auto attacks, because in comparison to other AD carries, they're actually quite strong. I see that our S2 is actually the bread and butter of this champion, but then I don't want to rely on it too heavily, because you always need to focus in, you need to aim for the target, and as I'm not an experienced player on Elsu, it's kind of given me a hard time to get targets into my scope, and this is going to hold me back a little bit. Therefore, I was trying to do a nice mixture of auto attacks on the one hand, and then snipe from time to time whenever convenient on the other hand. And you're dealing quite a lot of damage here. That's actually insane. So Abyssal Dragon has been defeated. That was the main goal. And as you can see, Hayate just took the chance and killed me here on the retreat, but I think That's completely fine, because we've already got a kill lead in terms of 2 kills. And we secured the Abyssal Dragon, which is basically more important than my own life. Double kill was actually super nice, so thanks for that. Enemy team and Zaniel is continuing to be quite annoying, and I think that is best described what this champion does. He's super annoying from time to time, but then he's not really been a threat. Hayate is of course something completely different because he's actually super mobile. So we're going to have a harder time on hitting him with our S2, which means that we're going to focus on our auto attacks a little bit more in order to deal damage to him, because otherwise if you aim on him he's just dashing out. That's, I mean, yes, I guess if you are able to play Elsu in the best way possible, you might still pack a chance. Zaniel just teleported away using his ult. But all in all, I think it is actual not that crazy to deal with Hayate on your own. With some little backup of Pura, as you've just seen in this very scene. So we are stacking up our kill lead by another kill. Every single time we get the chance to focus on some objectives, I would always go for the tower first. And as you've seen, our minion wave was running low, so we focused on getting some vision here. I don't know if Illumia is aware of the fact that we were actually able to see her. And now we've got some damage incoming from incoming from Errol, and this is basically the time where I should play a little bit more safely, because otherwise that might just be crucial for me and lead to a death here, because Errol is actually able to break down AD carries quite easily if he manages to land his S2 and then followed up by an ultimate. It's actually pretty deadly. So first tower goes to us. Well played here with the support of Pura, I say. And we've got the first item here as well. So now we've got some free roaming up to join the fight in the middle lane, helping my team out here a little with some auto attacks. And now I'm just sniping in without targeting too much, because we've got so many targets here that it's actually free damage if I would not miss them. So I was just sitting point blank shots into the enemies here, which is actually something that you can do. Because of course if they're standing closer to you, the range isn't important and your kind of trigger isn't that important at all. Unfortunately, I was a little bit too quick here on the trigger finger, because otherwise that would have just meant that this, what was it, Rehoma would have been dead. Okay, so he's doing shield stuff. We've got our Errol diving in here into the backline. And yeah, I just wanted to put some shots into the enemies. I don't know what Ryoma does here. That was quite strange, I guess. And note to me, I should be a little bit more relaxed on aiming the shots, and then those shots would be more deadly, because I would already have got some damage in, as this was the case here. I mean, I haven't played Elsu in quite a while, so it's always been a little bit confusing on how it works. Sometimes you hit the shot, sometimes you don't. And I would say if you've got more experience and you play just not one game in a couple of months, but 10 games in a day or 10 games in a week, I guess you guys will improve more than I do, and your shots will hit a lot more targets. So practice makes perfect, and it's basically what this is all about. But I can't complain. We've got 15 kills right now against the 7 of the enemies. And as I saw that Hayate was basically pushing into the wave, I tried to put a point blank shot into him, but I think he was just a little bit lazy. I think that he was not really paying attention to the map at all, because otherwise he would have seen me, and that was quite an easy kill here for me. So thanks Hayate for being just not there in the game, not being focused. Maybe he was receiving a call or something like that. Things like that do happen to me as well, and so your loss is my gain. And thanks to that, I am now sitting on a really comfortable 4-1-4, which is going to change in the rest of the game, but that's just a spoiler here. I mean, I hope you guys are going through the Christmas holidays quite well. I hope everyone is staying healthy, not doing too much crazy stuff during this hard time with COVID, and I hope that this game is actually just there to enjoy yourself. Drink a cup of tea or something like that. I mean, it's released around 6 p.m, so a cup of tea might be the perfect companion to enjoy this video, and yeah, enjoy yourself. Just use it and make some progress in the game. Don't force yourself. I haven't played a game around the Christmas season this year, but I'm playing a lot of World of Tanks right now. I said that to some of the players asking me for games, but the problem basically is that I've got some premium days in World of Tanks. That means that I need to play this game because I've paid money for that, and therefore I can't do Arena Valor things. So here by luck we do get another kill. Pretty neat, but now I think that was actually well played from Arrow. He just retreated, jumped back a little bit, and then he was diving into our team, and the enemy managed to kill at least 3 people, which is actually quite good for them, because it might just mean that they're going back into the game. And from my perspective right now, I would say if Arrow is not fixed to a single lane, like if you're roaming a little bit more, Arrow is actually a little bit stronger than the one on the solo lane, where you are just kind of like packed to that one position and you're not as free as you are. But we're back here, laning phase is over, so that should basically not be a problem. So now we need to be careful. I have to admit that I actually got a quite hard time to kind of find out that this crazy thing is the new Arrow skin. Like, this new marker on the bottom is coming from the One Punch Man thing. And this kind of held me back a little bit, but I'd say 635 is still okay-ish. And Crixie is getting another kill here for her account, so we're doing quite well. We've got 4 towers to break down. The enemy's got 6. So I would say, because we even got some of the main objectives, such as the Abyssal Dragon and the Darkslayer, we are in a better position right now. Doing some farming here because I want to get more items quickly. So kind of steal some of the farm. Oh, this is dangerous. Don't go in too deeply. You don't want to mess around with enemies in their own jungle. That can just result in a quick death if they realize that you're there. But we do get another Abyssal Dragon, so things are still looking really, really good. Now we've got Fenrir's Tooth, so that should imply a massive damage boost, especially on low health targets. As I said, I should take more time to get in and aim my shots properly, and as I was falling basically way back behind the back line, there was no protection. and Errol and Ryoma had an easy game here, killing me. But then Xanis was no match for button pressing Xanis. He was just doing 1, 2, 3, and you're dead, boy. What are you going to do against it? There's nothing that you can do because I pressed my buttons a little bit faster than you were. Good, clever move from Ryoma here. I think that's the right decision, that he was focusing on the towers instead of going in for the fights, because the fights, our fights are actually a little bit better than theirs, especially because of that huge damage coming from Crixie, and that damage is not single point or single target damage, but team damage. So I guess being a little bit of a split pusher is actually the way to go. But as you can see, we are farming them one by one, and of course this is going to be a huge impact on the overall game experience, because we were just picking our targets a little bit better. And well, this was nuts. Because of the area of effect, she's able to get Darkslayer here, and that was a real bummer, I suppose, because with Darkslayer we would have been able to get into that tower quite easily. Crixie is just getting another ultimate in here without any problems. And now I'm trying to deal some damage to Zengel, and you can see that our auto attacks are actually really powerful. And I think that is something that some of the older Elsu players are not really taking into account. I think it's something quite important to realize how strong your auto attacks are. But that said, I would say in the current meta right now, the Elsu players have that taken into account already. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why they're fighting this fight way up in front of our tower. It was a 2 versus 3 fight, so that's not something that you take by any chance, but it happened and we need to deal with it. And now it's our turn to defend that tower. Error comes in here. We do get another kill here for the Crixie, and I was trying to do some crazy mechanical stuff, but in my old days, being over 30, it just did not happen. But it would have been looked cool on YouTube if I would have uploaded the video, so I was of course taking this kind of chance to show some of my super cool mechanic skills. Here we go, it's on YouTube and it didn't happen, so well played, I guess, or not, can't tell. So as we're playing around, I think we lost focus a little bit in the game. Like what we're doing right now is focusing on kills, but we haven't really focused on breaking down the towers. So there are still 4 towers standing, and now the enemy has changed the flow of the battle, and the amount of towers that the enemies have to break down is now 2 towers, which means that they've already gotten super minions in the middle lane. So I think our game plan wasn't that well executed, and we should have focused a little bit more on getting those important towers, but we were starting a killing spree, going on for kills here and there, and I think this is something that you always should avoid. If you are leading the game, then go for the towers, because that's your main point of game stuff. It's like your game deciding thing. Again, I wanted to try to do something cool here. It turned out it wasn't cool. It was just barely. I'm barely alive, so it was plain stupid. But at least I'm hitting some of my shots right now, giving our champions some passage to go in. And as you can see, some really not wise decision led to 7-6 right now. I came from 5-1. So I would say my concentration, my focus on the game wasn't there anymore. It took just way too long, and now we end up with something like this. So as I said, Elsu is a really strong hero, like dealing damage over this crazy amount of distance without being harmed is a really game changer. But of course it's not enough. Positioning is key with Elsu, and that's something that you should really take into account if you play him. And because I was playing so stupid, of course my score is the worst. But I guess 24.1 damage is okayish. Crixie did a really good job on joining the fights and being there. So I think well-deserved MVP here. And well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video for being something like just some kind of snack content. Don't take it too crazy on me, and wish you pleasant 3 days. I hope you guys don't have to work after this day or the second one. So stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the rest of 2021 with your family, with your friends, and everyone that you like and who's liking you back. Bye bye.